Hello, everyone. My name's Brian. That's my brother Adam, and we are the Factional Fight Brothers. Today we are back in Wurm, and we're doing another round of quick fire questions while we build our road to our labyrinth. So stay tuned. All right, how are you doing, Adam?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. We are excited because we are actually finally building a path to our labyrinth that people can come to. We're trying to get as close to the entrance to Vrox, I guess, Vrox
Hmm.
Landing, as we can, so it'd be easy for people to find. Look at we're at the actually at the entrance, and I was noticing as I go in and out. Look at I don't know if you can see the labyrinth in the distance as I do this before we actually build this house here.
Hmm.
I don't know. It just seems really cool. Like I'm mesmerized by all that work that we did. It's almost like I don't know what's there, and it's so mysterious and it's calling me in. Oh. Anyway, so back to this episode. We're doing a bonus video. We've got, I think, four. Yeah, we got four questions here, and we're going to answer them as fast as possible, and and hopefully you guys will join in the comments. So let's get started with the first episode as we build this, or the first question as we build this road. What we're going to do is we're just going to go diagonally this way. I'm going to just chop down trees in the way and pack, and Adam's going to see if he can level what he can on the way
Yeah,
and see
the
where we end
leveling
up.
is the leveling is what's gonna take the longest.
That's right. That's
It'll
okay.
be okay.
All right. Question number 1. If they were to introduce a new skill, what would you want them to? What would you want to see?
Hmm.
And I guess I'll start with this one.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, the skill I would love for them to add is bookmaking. And
That is a good.
listen, we all have some stories that we could tell in Worm. We've all done something cool, some project, something that we would want to keep into the game. And what better way than to be able to write your own book and to share it with people that way? What better way to learn about the game, about its history, about, I don't know, all sorts of stuff. People could create how-to books, how to play specific classes that they would want to play, and give them out in the game. We wouldn't need... We could still use the wiki, but we wouldn't absolutely need to go out of the game to learn a lot of cool things.
Wouldn't it be cool to like be able to make copies? So like
Yeah, for
if somebody
sure.
made like a really great guide and there was some mechanism in the game that allowed you to make copies of that book.
Or just stories in general. I would love to
Yes.
read stories of people's adventures.
Then we'd have a
Blog
new
posts.
purpose for bookshelves.
That's right. You could actually put books in the bookshelf. That would be the best. All right, how about you, Adam? What would you think is the skill
You
that
know,
you
I
would
thought
add?
I thought long and hard about this, and it was a hard one to come up with. Like at first, I was thinking like glass making,
Yeah.
because that was a common one that everybody wanted. Glass blowing, so you can have windows and stuff like that, and maybe vases and stuff. But then, then I thought if we were making like tons of stuff out of glass, it'd be hard to like use it as decoration because as it is, all the decorative items just end up on the floor. So it would it would take for me if we wanted glass making, need a system where you can hang stuff on the walls or put on tables, and then things like glass blowing would make sense to me.
Hmm.
But until then, I really don't know if I think this game needs another skill. There's so many skills
Really?
already as it is, and like I went through everything that I could possibly think of, and it seemed like either it was already in the game or it wouldn't really fit in the game. Um, so I think that instead of adding new skills, the devs should probably focus on revamping systems that are already in place in the game and revitalizing
Uh,
those skills. Like what comes to mind, for example, is how they revamped the cooking system, and that added so much to the game. Um,
well, I mean, talking about revamping, how about question number two?
okay.
I mean, if they were to revamp a skill like like they did with the cooking system, or
Okay.
revamp a system, what would you want them to do next?
Hmm. Yes. I think that if they were to take a skill and do kind of what they did to cooking with that skill, I think I would like to see combat be the next thing that
Uh,
they revamp.
I think that would be a
Like,
common one. So what, like, what about combat?
yeah, I know a lot of people are going to want combat, and you know, sort of like what we always been talking about with combat, that it's too automatic to the point where you can kind of just run up to a mob and just sort of wait until the combat is done
Yeah,
before
well,
moving
I
on.
mean, the first thing that people say, and I used to say this too, was they want to revamp combat. Well, let's make it like Mountain Blade. Let's make it like, all these other games that do, you know, the actual action combat system, where you
Hmm.
could like swing the sword from the left or the right or the top or the bottom, like what are those games? War of the Roses or whatever those
Right.
games are
Or
called.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but the problem with that is that there's too much lag in this game, and the reason is because we all live on one server, and that server is located in Sweden or something like that,
Right.
and the lag between us and there, not great. Usually what games do is they localize their games. They put a server in North America and only North American players are playing there, and then they put a server in Europe and then only European players are playing there, and it helps with the
Hmm.
lag. And I don't want Wurm to do that. Like, I want everybody to play together, but the problem is that that makes it so that's not the best lag for everybody. Uh, so it would have to be a system that's engaging, but not necessarily Twitch based.
Hmm. I agree. I
And I'm
mean,
fine with that.
I'm fine with that too. I am totally fine with a non Twitch based, one where you kind of have to strategize, but that strategy doesn't have to be like perfectly real time. It could just be like, and we kind of have like a semi system that's like that, where you have to choose which area you want to attack, and then you would maybe focus or potentially bash. And then there's a couple special moves that you might do. But aside from that, maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be that much of a change to that, but more so with reacting to certain things that are happening in combat. Like, for example, I never really have to worry about where the mob is attacking me because it doesn't really
Ah,
matter too much. But maybe if there was something where if I see the mob is attacking me in one direction, I have to kind of do something to mitigate the damage. Otherwise, the consequence is a little bit more severe than it currently is. Do you know what I mean?
I can see that. I'd want it to be a little more engaging in the sense that I actually have to just do stuff. I have to not just be aware of things, but I'd have to click on something or do something
Okay.
or have something to do during combat that
Yes.
would, make it fun, because that's really all that we're here to do anyway. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, just make it more engaging, and that's.
And also in line. Sorry.
Well, I was just saying that's just essentially what people would want.
Hmm. It's in line with what they did with cooking. I think that if there was like a wider range to the change that combat can have, like, whereas in where they changed the cooking system And they did that by adding new bushes that gave new fruits. They added new crops. They added bees and honey. They added, all these side things surrounding cooking.
Mm.
They added affinities. They added like just tons of stuff. I think that a similar thing can be done with combat, where currently, what kind of purpose is there? And I'm strictly talking about PvE side. Like, what motivation is there to go out and do a hunting trip, for example? Like, currently there's mats to be gotten, but like leather, animal bits for natural substances, and
What
like
could we
healing
do
covers.
to
But what else
enhance
is
the
there?
whole combat situation
Right. Like, what
surrounding
other
it?
things could there be surrounding the desire to go out there and actually hunt?
Well, that's a whole other system that I thought of
Is it?
in my encounter system.
Yes.
Oh, I'd love to see that one day. But anyway, yeah, that I think is a pretty good answer.
Okay.
My answer
What about
would
you?
be the village system. I would love to see them revamp the whole village system, including alliances and that sort of thing, and just flush it out completely. Make it an entire. I wouldn't say, yeah, make it an entire giant game in and of itself. Allow progression of the village.
Mm.
Make it so the village is a type of gameplay, right? Don't just have it as, you're in a village or you're not in a village. Make it something people can strive towards. You now have a village, but if you want a great village, you have to do such and such and such and such in your village.
I really do like the idea of this village progression.
The village becomes part of your gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not just something that you need to purchase.
Or build.
Yeah. And
Because
I
at some
think,
point we finish building the village and then it's like done.
yeah,
A lot of people often move on to the next village and
Right.
build another village until that's done, sort of thing.
and that's
Yeah.
something you could do, but allow players to have that. I don't know. Make it tie into like the history of the place. It's something that we can always look back on and be like, oh, remember that village that like achieved this high rank and status of something or other. Do you know how every now and then a village is created and it's announced to the server, and
Right.
everyone's like, oh wow, congratulations, so great. Imagine if there was like more progression and it was announced to the server and like this village has reached the blah blah ranking of blah blah blah, and everyone's like, oh, that's like amazing, like I gotta go see that village now. Maybe it has
Yeah.
something like really cool that it would just engage everybody, and I would love to see them revamp that system. All right, I'll just conclude with that.
Agreed.
Question number 3. Which skill or system do you feel is perfect the way it is in Wurm? And
Huh.
one that you're thinking, okay, if they touch this system, like that's it. Like they should not touch this. It's like leave this alone. Which skill do you feel passionate about in that regard?
Which system is perfect the way it is?
I'm not just saying
okay.
I'm not saying that they can't add stuff to it, but like they can't change those mechanics. Like this is the way it should be.
Okay. I'd have to go with farming. And the reason why I have to go with farming is farming is one of those skills that not everybody loves, but at the same time there are people who are so passionate about it. And what that does is it creates sort of an economy where you have some people who are producers and there's going to be other people who are consumers. And it fits so nicely in the game because there's so many people who want those crops for whatever it is that they're doing, whether it be, you know, working on their priest or working on their cooking or working on whatever it is. And they are going to have to go to the farmers and purchase those crops. So, and then at the same time, just the mechanics of the farming system is so, it's like realistic. It's you know, you have to sow the seeds and you have to wait for it to grow. You have to tend to your fields, and it's a long-term thing. And over, you see a really big progression. They've changed it during the cooking update, and you see a lot more progression in terms of how many crops you get per harvest, and the more you tend your fields, you get more crops, and the higher skill you get, the higher quality. Like, it just, everything just seems to flow really nicely, and it lends it, like, has a really integral part to the whole game. I don't think that you can change this without affecting the entire game, and I think it's perfect the way it is.
Huh. If I had to choose something, I would choose, and this is, I guess not really a system, but I was thinking about it. I would wanted to choose forestry,
Okay.
but there was a reason why, and I think it affects every single kind of harvesting class, a lot of them, and that's
Okay.
the reason why I choose forestry or even wood cutting or that sort of thing is because it's a mechanic that I want to see more of, in the sense that, well, let's say what I'm doing right now, I'm taking a shovel and I'm packing the grass, let's say, or I'm picking a sprout, or I'm chopping a tree. I'm interacting with the game, and I'm not interacting with menu systems. I'm not interacting with my inventory. This is the type of gameplay I like in Wurm. This is what immerses me, that I'm in the game and I'm affecting the game through my actions.
Yes,
I'm not in a menu system, and I want crafting to be more like that as well. I want to somehow make it so, no, this is how we interact with crafting. Oh, there's a big oak tree in the way. That's not going to be fun. Yeah, so that's kind of like I chose that.
For this road, I think you need to
veer somewhere.
Nope, chop the trees that are just to the side.
I see. That's what I'm.
You're so
doing.
far ahead of me that it yeah, but
anyway, I just want to make it to the end. I don't know.
I know
this
you
is
want to
like
make it to the
really
end.
far.
It's just making me go super slow because I have to do that as well as all the other things that I'm doing.
This is kind of funny. And now they're all birch trees, so.
And I'm actually not making it perfect. I'm just gonna make it decent.
Nothing. All in the 80s. Oh, it's not bad. All right. So what do we got? Last question.
Okay.
You ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
This one's a hard one to get my head around, the way that I have to describe this. Is there anything that you think should be in Wurm but isn't? This could be anything. Something from another game, something from, I don't know, the real world, something from, I don't know, life in general, something you saw somewhere and you're like, I wonder if that's in Wurm. Or maybe you thought, when you first started playing Wurm, you thought maybe like this has got to be in Wurm, this feature. I mean, it would fit so well, and then you find out later that it's not.
I see. So something that's in other games that's not in Wurm that I think should be I think is a mentor system.
Yeah.
Right, one where you can group up. Let's say I invite a friend to play the game for the very first time. Um, Currently, what I would probably do to introduce him to the game or her is to create a new character and sort of
Yeah.
roll with them as a new character. Um,
And we've
but
done
I
this.
know
We've
enough.
done this in a previous series of episodes with Sasha.
Yeah, but I know in other games they have a system in place where you can, group up with your new player friend with your main character, and somehow, some way, there is some system in place that allows you to play together. Um, and I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work in Wurm, but
Mm.
you know, I feel like there should be some kind of way that you can play with your friend at the same time as them getting acclimated to the game, and you can sort of play along with them on your main character. Maybe even get some benefit out of grouping up with a new friend. Um, Somehow, I'm not sure what it would be, but you know, I think it's one thing that might help the game grow.
Have some kind of mentor system. I know that we've mentioned mentor systems in the past. Um, and I had a name of a game that I believed did it well. And it
Okay.
was a game like this, and now I can't for the life of me think of the name of that game.
Okay.
Um, and the problem is, let's see if I can find it.
Okay.
Problem is that crafting games are so common these days. This was like before crafting games were popular. There was a crafting game that did PvE crafting really well. I'll probably think of it after after we finish this episode.
Right.
But they had two things that I really loved. Group crafting. The more people that crafted items, they would be able to craft special, like, cool items.
Was
Uh,
this was it in Vanguard?
no, that was something else.
Oh, that was like group
Vanguard
harvesting.
Vanguard did group harvesting, yeah.
Remember group harvesting?
And that, I mean, I'm not sure if that would really work in this game,
Hmm.
or transfer over, because with Vanguard, that was a completely you would yield more items the more people that would harvest
Hmm.
together. But this game had great group crafting where you would be creating these big structures that only a group would be able to do, and the structures would keep. I don't know how to call it. They would keep. What is it called? Like, evolving, and you could improve them continuously as they level. It would be like if you created a Colossus, and then after you created the Colossus, you could just keep going and
Okay.
make it better with more people. And it keeps growing and becoming another object, and it's just like a gemmed Colossus with gems all over it, and then a bigger stuff like that. It could keep going after you've completed it. Maybe that's what they should do in this game. They should.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm going off topic, but what was I thinking? I was thinking more along the lines of that they also had a great mentor system where a player could help you out, and
Okay.
both players would get something out of it. Like, they would be able to. They needed to do that actually to get to the next step. And something in this game, they already do that with religion and needing to become let's say a priest. Well, in order to
Okay,
become a
so
priest, you need another player that is a priest that can get you like further on. Like imagine there was some things like that where you needed another crafter
right.
to progress your crafting ability, like an apprenticeship,
I see.
like something like that. And it's
So it's a community thing where you have to like go and seek somebody else out in order to progress to the next stage.
yeah, it was something like this, and I think they did it with books or something. Can't remember, but
Okay.
it was quite clever, and I'm sure Worm could adopt something that would make it more fun. And I know that somebody like Retro or somebody's going to be like, it could be abused. Then just make it in a way where people wouldn't want to abuse it.
Hmm.
I don't know, like I'm sure there's a way.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that leaves my answer. That wasn't even my answer. That was your answer.
Okay.
So what was the question? Is there anything that you think should be in Worm but isn't? My answer to that, and there was two things that I thought of when I heard this. The first one was when I came into the game for the first time, and I was like looking how intricate it is. You could climb this, and you can like some tiles, some floors make you go faster, and then some make you go really slow, and we're going through all this, and the first thing I thought of is like, oh, like I'm gonna go into the water and I'm gonna explore. And then I find out, well, you can't really go under the water. It's off limits.
Hmm.
That disappointed me. So that's one of the things that I thought was in this game, and then later realized it's not in this game. I would love for them to include the water as a thing you can actually explore and make it part of the game.
I agree with that. I was disappointed as well that you can't swim underwater.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want them to just make it so we're allowed to. I would want them to do something that would make it so it's necessary for something, like some kind of harvest material or something like that. The other thing that disappointed me was I remember going I think we just started puzzles, our first deed on Deliverance, and we planted the deed next to a mountain, and I climbed the mountain because I wanted to explore, and I saw my first troll, and it was the way that the trolls looked back in the day, like green and dark green and not animated, and
Okay.
they kind of looked like very ferocious back then. Now they're kind of like, I don't know how to describe them now. More traditional trolls, more like little more cartoony,
Mm-hmm.
not as menacing, I guess. More like
So you're
funny
saying
menacing.
now they look less menacing?
Yeah, they look less menacing now.
Yeah.
But and I remember thinking, this is like this is really cool. I wonder where all the trolls are. I wonder where like the troll city is. I wonder where the troll houses are. Like I want to explore and go to like the troll hideouts and like and then I find out no, that's just there's just one troll there and it just randomly happened to be there because that's where it was in the world at the time when I found him. He's just like randomly walking around. And so that's what I'd want to see. Like why can't they goblins and trolls be more not like be more smart? Have like
more smart.
Be more smart, I was just I was just talking to like be more smart, like they're SMRT. And so I'd want them to have like, create a fire and a couple trolls, hang out around a fire or something. Or make it so they build huts, little troll huts that we would have to go and destroy. Make it so they build like little troll villages and goblin villages that we would discover in the world, and we would have to destroy them.
And you can that gives us like PvEers a little taste of, siege warfare kind of thing.
Yeah, this is what I thought was in the game and would fit so well into the game. But it's just not in the game.
I do like the idea of them getting together and building little villages, and if let's say nobody goes to disturb them, the village gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and their population grows and grows and grows, and it creates a spot for us to discover and start,
deconstructing.
We'd have like some point of interest,
something to conquer.
Exactly.
Like imagine this is the combat thing that we want.
Yeah.
This is what we would want to see to expand combat. Not just the combat mechanics, but something like this that would allow combat to be useful. I'd be down for that. And that's...
I so would be down for that.
What I would love to see in Wurm. That currently isn't. So those are our 4 questions. Thanks everyone for watching. Why haven't we found Vrox yet? Here, just come out with me here.
You have to double back. Okay, yeah, we'll go this way.
Where is it? There's this huge drop, 40.
Okay, we're gonna have to fix this. Holy crap. Yeah, no, we're really, really close. This road system is an old deed.
Yeah, which is not here anymore.
It's not here anymore.
Noticed.
And if we hang a right somewhere over here.
At some point, should we just, instead of going diagonal, just go right?
Yeah, we just got to figure out where that is exactly.
Is it here?
I got hurt going down that hill.
Me too.
Slow. Yeah, we can find it if we...
I just want to make it to the main road, essentially.
Let's see here.
Is it this way or is it that way?
Yeah, no, it's this way. We're really super close.
Is that it? Because every time I think, oh, that's the road, it ends up just being like a one-tile road.
Okay, well, that one-tile road is actually approximately 1 deed length from the main road.
Like this one.
Okay, you see... There's a... Yeah, it's somewhere right over here. Yeah, keep going this way.
What if we kept going on this tiny road?
Here it is. You see that from where I'm standing? You can see there's a bit of sand, and there's that little one...
This is going through
tile.
the main road. Or this is going through someone's deed.
Is this a deed? No. No, it's an old deed. It's an old deed. Now we can decide, there's a big hole here for that mine. We could decide to go in front of it or around it in this sort of like desert area, in this sand area.
Wait.
We want to connect. We want to connect to this thing.
No. How are we going to connect to a road that's going up a mountain?
What mountain?
Right here. It's just going up.
This is the main road. No, Vrox is right over here. This is Vrox right here.
That's really tiny.
Yeah, so we would have to expand it.
Where's Vrox? Is it up there?
Yeah, just up there.
Wow.
So we would be like the first stop off the road from Vrox. So instead of going along this highway, you would come this way. So we'd make that a little wider so that it can be considered a highway. This whole diagonal thing, and maybe we can connect it to this diagonal road. I don't know.
Is this considered too wide?
No. Yeah. This is considered too wide.
Yeah. Okay.
Because diagonal ones count as
All
one.
right. So I think we're gonna figure that out,
Yeah.
and hopefully people will be able to come straight from Brock's to our place. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.